Okay, so I'm going to show you HyperDocs. HyperDocs are a lot like, well, they're Google Docs and Google Slides, and they're very similar to the things I've talked about before in a couple of slides as far as you want to house your lesson inside this. They're just a little more intricate, a little more visually appealing. So this is the website that I gave you, hyperdocs.co, and the ladies down here, the HyperDoc girls. There's a great book that they wrote, which I do know a few people who have that, and it is really well done. You don't have to buy it, so all these tips are free. I'm giving you. So the one thing I would check out is what let's see about HyperDocs, and this will give you kind of a general idea of what they are. Um, for example, they're carefully crafted digital lesson plans that require educators to have a mindset of thoughtful pedagogy. I say that wrong all the time, but um, what they're not, just a Google Doc with links. So this is kind of clearing up misconceptions as to what they are, and I do like this approach. And so I would recommend you looking over the ideas of what HyperDocs are. Another area that I like, if we go to the templates, again, this is hyperdocs.co. On the templates, it is giving you kind of the way they're set up, the template, the basic HyperDoc lesson. And I'm only going to pull this one up because I like the philosophy. And these are kind of how they're supposed to be built when you build. So don't really worry about what this looks like. Just worry about the concepts or the words. So engage, explore, explain, apply, share, reflect, and extend. So I don't think many people would argue the logic behind this. You want to engage a student, you want to have them explore, all right? And notice they use words like curate a collection of resources, get them going. And then finally, down here, the third step, you actually want to teach and explain. So, and again, though, this isn't truly, I just want to show you the philosophy, so I am going to close this one. So I think it really gets interesting if you go up to the top and hover over resources, and then you click on samples. All right, so what these are a collection. Each one of these will take you into a folder in a Google Drive. And basically, they're already set up lessons. Now, I do want to caution you. I wouldn't just go in here and get a lesson and just, you know, give it to students. I would get in there and start tweaking, removing, and adding. And I kind of almost encourage you to just, like if I go into history and geography, you can see I'm in someone's Google Doc or Google Drive because they gave me permission to do so. Okay. Now you'll notice that I have mine set to grid. So when this loads, you can kind of see all the visual aspects of this. Some of you, when it comes up, you might have it set to list view, and you're going to see why that's not nearly as powerful. You don't really get a sense of the image without a lot of clicking and looking around. So I'm going to switch mine back to grid view because I like seeing the picture versions. All right. Notice the format, it's either in Google Docs or Google Slides. So I will click on, been to California a lot, I like that. Okay, so, and again, you're gonna find some are better than others. Some obviously for different age groups. This seems like for a pretty young kid. And I'll be honest, I'm not quite sure what you do on this one. I don't know that I love this one. I'm actually gonna get out of this one. It doesn't seem very fruitful. Let me go to maybe this colonial resistance, I believe it said. All right, this is in Google Docs format. A lot of graphics and so I do want to pause for a minute. So this says request edit access. I don't want to edit this one. I also don't want to ask for permission. So my advice is to make your own copy, and that's easy. You just go up to File. I don't want to wait for somebody to give me a permission. So I'm going to go make a copy right here. So File, make a copy, and then I am gonna change, kind of go back. I keep hitting back here till I'm to my drive. If I wanted to, I could make a folder here. I could make it, call it HyperDocs. I could call it more HyperDoc templates. And again, I do want you to think of these. Click that little. I want you to think of this as a template more than just going in and getting someone's lesson, because they don't know your standards, your students. They could be teachers anywhere in the world. So now this is my own version of that assignment. So I want to make sure you're getting the point. First of all, think of these as templates. There's hundreds and hundreds of each one of these little squares out here. English. I might be a math teacher. I'll find something awesome in English and just tweak stuff. So yes, you might find something kind of neat, but mostly you're going in there to kind of swipe the layout and put your own stuff in it. So like this is my version now, and you can see I found ones on here that are awesome, and I have found ones that are not good at all. But a lot of times I'll like the layout. So I might not like these images. I'm not sure what they're going for here, to be honest. I mean, I've seen some of these images. I don't know. But let's say that I don't like these images. I could always click and remove those and put my own, and then put my own questions, and then I have my nice little layout. I'm just kind of checking this out. So again, think of it more as a layout, and then I would of course go up here and I could change it in any way that I wanted. And then whatever the lesson is, maybe I'm going to turn it into a social studies early US. All right. So when you're done making, you're messing with these and whatnot, again, this same thing is going to be true that I've been saying the whole time. If I want to go into classwork and I want to click assignment, I can add the HyperDoc that I just used. And you can see, I'm not going to, but you can see when that populates, the document that I just created is here ready for me. And so I would attach it. And if you watch my other videos, you know that I would go down. I want every kid to have their own. But I can't stress enough, I would definitely be going in and making changes on this. I might change the whole thing. I could turn it into an English lesson, and I'm just using the space. So this is just another resource. And I do want to tease all the resources we have going on here on this document I gave you. There are so many resources out there, and this is just the tip of the iceberg. You really want to narrow it down. And I do like HyperDocs because it is yet another place for you to, yeah, that's where I talk about that. It's another place for you to put a lesson that has a beginning, middle, and an end. And on right now it's slide 12. It could change. The thing I clicked on to get there is that link. So, okay, that is a HyperDoc, and I hope that made sense to you. All right, good luck in your planning.